But now we turn our attention to Traverse City, Michigan, where you are waking up to a feels like temperature of 22 degrees. This city is among many in the Midwest bracing for a potentially historic winter storm that begins tonight, running through Monday. Major alerts expected tonight from Montana through Michigan. Let's get on the ground to Traverse City with our very own Jane Minar. Good morning to you, Jane. You've been out there since yesterday, and you'll be with us through the entire storm in this spot. So what are you looking at with all the models? What are you most concerned about?
Icing is definitely my top concern at this point. Now, we will see snow, don't get me wrong. Now, is it the 1 to 2 feet of snow that was initially in the forecast? No. But still, the ceiling for this is still pretty impressive. The floor of snow, 8 to 12 inches is what we're going with here in Traverse City. That will be split up over 2 days, tomorrow and again on Monday. But it's going to be several hours of freezing rain that could end up being the difference maker here, where we could see ice accretions upwards of 1/4 to 1/2 an inch. And what that does is, of course, weigh down on power lines, on tree branches, and that could lead to not only power outages, but some infrastructure damage. That all picks up by about tomorrow late morning and then continues into the afternoon and evening. It's sandwiched between rounds of a wet, heavy snow. So that's what we're looking for. Now, there's a couple of things in the forecast models that I am looking at is how quickly does that area of low pressure deepen? We expect it to bomb out, right? Rapidly intensify. But one thing that we will be seeing is how quickly does that take shape? How strong does it get? Because the stronger it becomes, the farther north it's going to want to track. The farther north it tracks, well, it's going to take the bullseye of that wet, heavy snow along with it, which is why we've seen in the last 24 hours those snow trends of the highest totals lift up into the UP, back out across northern Wisconsin into Minnesota, the wraparound of that area of low pressure, which is what you would expect in a storm of this magnitude. Out ahead of that, you've got this warm front that's going to lift up across Michigan. We're going to be in the belt of that warm Gulf air. A little overrunning with that Arctic air is what leads to that freezing rain potential. So it is a dynamic storm. Here I am, though, this morning in Traverse City. We just got through our first round. That was a clipper that moved through yesterday, brought a widespread 3 to 5 inches of snow across the area. We had wind gusts that were topping out around 30 to near 40 miles per hour. Those died down just before about midnight last night. And this morning, Melanie, take a look at this. I know we have the video of it. It's the sunrise, and I spotted it immediately. And you know, it's one of those things as a meteorologist, you love to see it happen in real time. It's a sun pillar, that vertical column of colorful light that was distributed from ice crystals, millions of ice crystals high into the sky. It happens most at sunrise or can happen at sunset, but sunrise when the sun was just at the base of the horizon. So definitely a spectacular start to the day. Cold, drier air because of that northwesterly wind made it feel a little more biting, but red sky in the morning, sailor take warning. Maybe a little precursor. Mother Nature giving us that heads up that we've got a major winter storm coming. We do have a winter storm watch in play. That begins as we go through tonight. We'll continue to run through Monday. Now, like I said, the sandwich of these impacts, we're going to start to see some snow showers, wet, heavy snow late tonight into tomorrow morning. We are going to see that leading edge of the warm front that brings us initially that wet, heavy snow. That could maybe give us a couple of inches, but then we get the transition to the freezing rain. And again, that happening by about mid to late morning tomorrow, then continues into the afternoon. The question will be, again, how strong is the storm? Does it track a little farther north? The uncertainty there is what would be the question of whether or not we stay purely in hours of freezing rain, or if for the northern mid of Michigan, we get a little lucky and maybe that freezing rain starts to become just a plain cold rain. That would be the best case scenario, because I'm just talking about impacts. You know, we don't want to see anything that could be damaging. And freezing rain that lasts for 6 to 10 hours, if not longer, yeah, that's when it gets damaging, followed by the wraparound of wet, heavy snow through Monday. That brings an additional, perhaps, half a foot into the start of the work week. So, Melanie, lots to keep track of.
Yeah, it certainly is a challenging forecast. And, you know, in terms of wintry precipitation, the one you want to have the least is going to be that freezing rain. So we look forward to your reports. Thank you so much, Jane.